Hello guys and welcome to another episode of OpenRCT2. Everyone knows the squirrel-shaped trees at the entrance of Forest Frontiers. Now that begs the question, can we beat Forest Frontiers with just a giant tracky texture squirrel? In this video I'm taking you on a little journey to find the answer to that question. So the first thing I did was build a classic wooden roller coaster. I started with the lower body and the feet. Then I built the upper body and tried to make a good looking head. Because of the limited scenery selection in Forest Frontiers, I had to use bushes for the eyes. I then used the second wooden coaster for the tail. I made that a bit brighter for some contrast. As a last step, I added some ears and some arms holding an acorn. By the time I finished building the squirrel, it was the end of May. At that point I fast forwarded the game and failed the objective with only 14 guests in the park. That means that a giant squirrel probably isn't enough to make guests come into the park. At that point I reset the park to the end of May and tried to keep people from leaving. That still only led to about 51 guests in the park who weren't quite happy. As a last resort, I tried some marketing. I launched an advertising campaign for the park and gave people free entry to a park that was free anyway. Before fast forwarding, I gave the squirrel some whiskers as they were still missing. While having the marketing campaign active, I also blocked people from leaving. That made 295 guests come into the park, but we still failed the objective as all the guests were unhappy. At that point I thought that this wasn't gonna work. But then I got curious and downloaded Sadret's soft guest cap calculator. This tool essentially tells you how many guests your park is going to attract. I put a link to this in the description. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, we have a soft guest cap of 0. I then asked on the DKMP Discord if the rides have to be opened. The answer I got was that they have to be. At that point I added a random station platform to the squirrel. Then I enabled the Show All Operating Modes cheat. That made it possible to change the operating mode of the coaster to a 3D film, and then open it. Now the entrance and exit could be hidden using the tile inspector. As you can see, the soft guest cap increased to 105. That means that we need at least 2 more wooden coasters to achieve our goal. At that point I replaced the other foot. This increased the soft gas cap to 210 people. As a last step, I replaced the mouth. We now have a soft gas cap of 315 people, which means that the scenario should be beatable. 80 guests and a park rating of 550 still weren't enough. Then I thought to myself, why don't we just tell people that there's a giant squirrel in this park? This still only led to about 100 guests in the park. At that point there was only one option left, to build more coasters. With 3 more coasters we now had a soft gas cap of 630. We still needed more coasters though. At that point I added some more rides. As a next step I added some more paths because people were saying that it was too crowded. After countless more tries I came to the conclusion that I probably won't be able to do this. So sadly I didn't manage to beat Forest Frontiers with just a giant squirrel. I'm pretty sure that someone who has more experience with scenario play can do it though. So that's it for today, I hope that you had some fun and see you next time!